Hi guys! So today we are going to be doing my February wrap-up. I read a lot in February. I think it was like 22, 23 books. Yeah, I had a really good reading month. So, without further ado, since I have so many books to talk about, let's just get started. So the first book that I finished in February was The Dreamkeeper's Saga, Book 1, The Dragon and the Stone by Catherine Butler. This book, I gave it 5 stars. I really loved it. It's basically like a girl goes to sort of like a Narnia-esque world, except it's a dream, like where all the dreams live or something. And yeah, it was really good. I really liked it. I really need to get my hands on the rest of the series now. So very much enjoyed that one. I'm gonna try to be quick because, like I said, I got a lot of books, so I might just kind of fly through these a little bit. So apologies for that. But anyway, the next book that I finished. Also, I also have my baby in here again, so either ignore or enjoy the baby noises, depending on your preference. But if I'm also looking down and talking to someone else, I mean, obviously you would guess I was talking to the baby, I guess. But anyways, hey buddy. Yeah. So when that happens, I'm talking to my son. All right, the next book that I finished was Ben-Hur by Lew Wallace. This is biblical fiction. It is a biblical fiction story set during the days of Jesus. Judah Ben-Hur is a wealthy Jewish boy from a well-known Jewish family, noble Jewish family, and he is accused of trying to kill the Roman governor. And I enjoyed it. I've seen the newer movie version, the 2016 version. Not necessarily. I don't think I've seen the old version. I should probably, but I've not yet. But it's just so long and so boring. Slow. It's slow. That's what it is. It's not necessarily boring. If you can get past the Christmas section at the beginning, which is ridiculously long, it has no right to be as long as it is, but it is very long. If you can get past the Christmas section, it is actually tolerable. But yeah, I think I wound up giving it like 4 stars. I wasn't sure how to rate it. Plus, also, I didn't agree with all of Wallace's theology, which I know that really shouldn't. I try not to let that affect my ratings too much, but sometimes, like when it's coming out of the mouth of Jesus, I don't remember if it was coming out of the mouth of Jesus or not, but like some of it was like very much preaching salvation based on works, which is like not cool. And to say like that is very not orthodox. To say that a little more, theologically accurate. But yeah, it's not good, is it? No, that's not good. But anyway, so that I just did not approve of that. Did not like that aspect. And then also he described Jesus as very woman-like in appearance, like 2 or 3 times. And I'm just not like, no, don't do that. Please no. So did not. It was not great. That was not great. All right, the next 2, I'm not quite sure which one I finished first, but I think the next book that I finished was actually a short story, and it's The Songbird by Sue Andrews. I'm still counting it. And it's not actually on Goodreads, so unfortunately I can't link it below, but it was fine. I think I would give it 3 stars once it gets added to Goodreads. It was just a lot about relations that should be between married people, except they weren't married people, and just lots of that. Too much of that. That was just too much. There was too much of that. I did not need that much. I mean, it wasn't inappropriate. Like, there was nothing that obviously made me DNF it. There was nothing that was overly explicit. It was just, like, constantly there, and, like, okay, fine, whatever. Can we stop now, please? Was sort of my attitude. But Sue Andrews' storytelling was great as usual. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, sweet boy. There, yes. Oh, he smiled at me. Which is the best thing ever, when your baby smiles at you, just as a note. Alright, next is I read The Light Princess by George MacDonald. And I keep reading this as The Light Princess, as in, like, light, like not darkness kind of light, but no, it means not heavy kind of light. And I keep reading it the other way. Yeah. But anyway, this princess was basically cursed at birth by her evil aunt to not have any weight or any gravity or anything. So she basically is also the worst. So I did not like the... Yeah. I did not like the main character. She was kind of annoying. The prince, though, was great. The prince in this book was great. And I don't know if this was supposed to be an allegory. Like, I liked the allegory part of it and the fairy tale-ness of it. Like it was a cute fairy tale, but just, I think I gave it 4.5 stars. She's fine. She was fine, it was fine. Like, I really liked it, but she just dragged it down a wee bit, because she was just a twerp. Alright. And then, after I read that, I started my Melanie Dickerson rereadathon. Because this month was the Once Upon a Faebruary readathon, which I will talk about that at the end and just mention what books I read for each prompt. And tell you how I did. But I wanted to reread all of Melanie Dickerson's books if I could. And, well, not all of the ones I've read before. I'm still missing, I have like 4 of her fairy tale books that I haven't read. But I reread all the ones that I own. I'll say it that way. So the first one is The Healer's Apprentice, which is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. And this one was really great. I love the male lead in this one, and the Rose was good too. And I think she was very creative in applying Sleeping Beauty to a Christian version of that. And then the next one that I read was The Merchant's Daughter, which is book 2 in this series. And again, very much enjoyed that one. The Merchant's Daughter at first does not seem connected to the rest of the series, but it gets connected later, and it's so cool. It makes me very happy how she did that. But yeah, so one thing I really do like about this book is how, and about the whole series really, is that as someone who very much enjoys the old Disney movies, most Disney movies, especially the older ones, because their newer stuff is just kind of mostly meh. They've not made a good movie since Encanto, I don't think. And even Encanto was like the first good one, really, really good one since Moana. Which, that's like a 4-year gap or something. Anyway, too much rambling. I need to keep moving. But I like the allusions that she makes to the Disney movie specifically, and not to necessarily the, original tale. I find that very fun. So, like, for example, in The Merchant's Daughter... Yeah! In The Merchant's Daughter, the Belle character really likes to read. Well, she doesn't really like to read. She wants to read the Bible. She has this driving desire to read the Bible. And I just loved that. And I thought that was a very clever way to adapt that aspect of the Beauty and the Beast movie that we all know and love to this historical setting. And then she also, let's see, what are such? There's a rose element in this one that's really fun. And then even she uses there's very much a scene like the mob song scene from Beauty and the Beast, which is the scene where Gaston whips up the villagers to go after the Beast. But anyway, very much enjoyed this. This was great. All of the Melanie Dickerson books were 5 stars. So I'll just tell you that right now. They may not really have deserved to be the 5 stars, but because they are so sweet and precious and so nostalgic, they were 5 stars. I gave them all 5 stars across the board. That's why I didn't say the star rating, because I forgot that I have to say that, because I gave them all 5 stars. Alright, then I finally finished, because those 2 are ebooks, hence me holding that up. I finally finished this one that I was reading physically, The Flight of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey, which is book 2 in her Ravenwood saga. And I really enjoyed this too. It's I can't really talk about this one without spoiling the end of the first book. But let's just say this is exploring the ramifications of the thing that happens at the very end of book 1. I think that's said without spoilers. And I thought it was really great. I gave it a 4.5, mainly because there's a scene where a married couple... It's a fade to black scene with a married couple. That's just the best way to say that. I did not like that. It didn't have anything explicit, of course, but it was too much for me, I think. Not too much. It was on the line of too much, I guess. I was like, yeah. So anyway, hopefully I don't think book 3 has anything like that. So I'm looking forward to getting to book 3, but this, I did not like it as much as I liked book 1. Because of that. All right. Back to Melanie Dickerson, and we are staying there for a while. So, then I read book 3, Fairest Beauty, in this Hockenheim series. And this one is the retelling of Snow White, which I love the way that the dress was adapted for the cover. And, yeah, I can't really, yeah. I can't really, like, I loved it very much. I really liked, I like the Seven Dwarfs. I like how they were adapted here. And, yeah, I put a couple things in my Goodreads review. I marked it as spoilers because I did have a couple of things about the ending for this one. But yeah, once again, just the way that scripture, or like this was adapted into a Christian retelling. I love how she puts Christianity in all of her books, and I noticed it a lot this time, like how strong the Christianity was in these books. The next one was The Captive Maiden, which is the Cinderella retelling, and love this, so wonderful. And this was, one of those two was my first one of the series. I missed books 1 and 2 for the first time. I don't remember which one I started with. I kind of want to say I started with book 4, actually, and then I read book 3, but I'm not confident on that. It could have been book 3 first, and then book 4. But anyways, I love this book. Gisela, the main character, is just so wonderful. She's such a great Cinderella character. And after book 3, I kind of am, I'm not sure about the main character of this one because he's in book 3. Or the love interest, but he's great in this one, and he's exactly what Gisela needed. I love that. I love it so much. All right, then next I read book 5, The Princess Spy, and this was my second favorite of the whole series. Like, they were all 5 stars, but this one was surprisingly my second favorite, because the first time I read this series, I did not like this one very much. But oh, this time it was so great. I loved it so much. Maybe it was just because more action or something. And yeah, I don't know. But anyway, this is a retelling of The Frog Prince. And this one did not have too many elements from the Disney movie because the Disney movie is set in 1920s New Orleans. So obviously not much of that one showed up. But this is still really great. I really enjoyed this. I don't have too much to say on most of these. Just like, I love how she adapts the fairy tales and puts them in a Christian setting. So yeah. All right, next is The Golden Braid, which is obviously, you may be able to guess what the retelling this one is. It's Rapunzel. You might be able to guess that based on the braid. But I love this one. This is my favorite, I think. I love the dresses on the covers. Can I just comment that I love the dresses on the covers? Ah, so great. But, yeah. This is, this one was so good. It was my favorite of the books. I did not love the love interest so much because he was kind of a jerk at first, but Rapunzel was great, and the ending, I don't want to get... Okay, spoilers for this book, because I have to tell you what the ending was. The fact that she is actually the sister of all the others, and, like, the one that they thought had drowned, was so perfect. I loved it so much. Yeah, I loved it. I did. Now, one thing I wish that would have happened is that I wish that Gabe had, and I said this in my Goodreads review too, I wish that Gabe and Rapunzel had some time together at the end, like just one scene, because in book 3, Gabe was eaten up to death, like so much, with guilt over what happened with Rapunzel. And, the fact that they didn't have any interaction with that after she came back was kind of terrible, in my opinion. Like, come on, Melanie. Give us some closure with that. Now that Gabe sees that she's alive, like, I wanted to see his reaction to meeting her. But it was still good. I really still enjoyed it. And I liked how it went back to Princess Spy and, like, covered the same time period. That was really cool. So those two were my favorites. Done with spoilers now. Alright, next was The Silent Songbird, which is the Little Mermaid retelling. And loved this one also. It took me a little bit to get into it just because sometimes, since all of her characters are nobles, sometimes Melanie Dickerson's characters do kind of come off as having first world problems, so to speak. And this one she kind of did, but like I get it. She didn't want to marry a terrible person, so also, yeah, I wouldn't want to marry a terrible person either. So you know. Also noticed some Princess Bride references that I hadn't before because I only recently saw the Princess Bride for the first time. I know, yeah. Somehow I made it to adulthood without seeing Princess Bride, but my husband's family fixed that and I've seen it and it's wonderful and I loved it, but I found a few references here, I think. Not positive, I guess, but the main character's, or the love interest's name is Wesley, which, like, it's Princess Bride already, and then I think he tells her as you wish at one point, or she tells him as you wish. Like, somebody says as you wish. And I was like, oh wait, that's a Princess Bride reference. It has to be. So, really enjoyed that. Alright, next was The Orphan's Wish, which is the Aladdin retelling, which is not really an Aladdin retelling. Like, the love interest's name is Aladdin. Nothing else about this story has anything to do with it. And he's Middle Eastern, and he stole something once as a kid. Other than that, it's not really very Aladdin, but I did enjoy it very much. Aladdin is a little bit eaten up with the guilt over what he did as a kid when he, like, was forced to steal for, like, a couple years, and then he was, if that, and then he was rescued. Like, it's not even clear how long he was forced to steal. But anyway, yeah, it was, I didn't like that part, but it was still enjoyable. Also, can I say, I kind of wish that the book was this color, like the color of her dress. Why is the book not the color of her dress? All the others, the books are the color of their dresses. Why not, or most of the others at least. Like, why not on this one? This would be such a and also this is such a gorgeous dress. I wish this color was on this book. Why is that color not on this book? I don't understand. I'm going to have another rant when it comes up about the covers lately, or later. But, anyways, Orphan's Wish, yeah, enjoyed that one as well. And then I read The Warrior Maiden, which is the next, I don't even know what number we're on now. We're on like, so that's 11, 10, 9, which is book 9. This is the Mulan retelling, and it was really fun. Really loved it. I love the Mulan movie, and this retelling was really great. It captured pretty much the same story very well, I thought, and yeah, don't have a lot to say about this one. Again, really enjoyed it. I have actual reviews for these, but they're also short reviews just because I love these, and I don't really know what else to say about them. And anyway, next book is Piper's Pursuit, which is a Pied Piper retelling, which is really interesting. I like how she took Pied Piper and, like, retold it, and actually, like, yeah, it totally makes sense, and it was a really great retelling, actually. And also, I love the color on this book. It matches her outfit. Can we please get with the program here and match the colors to the books to the outfits? Anyway, on the dust jackets, but anyway. I did Cat, the main character, was kind of a, as I put in my Goodreads review, strong female character, TM. You know, the Rays of the world. But she actually had a good reason for being that way, like, just to protect herself, so I'm kind of okay with it. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was really good, and I also liked the main character's, the male love interest's character arc here. How he had, like, from book, the last one, 9, from Warrior Maiden into Piper's Pursuit. I like how he had a character arc there. Yeah, again, don't have a lot to say about these that are, I love Melanie Dickerson's fairy tale retellings. And I'm getting such a stack on the floor. And then finally, The Peasant's Dream is the last one. It is the Cinderella retelling. And again, it matches her dress. Very pretty color, too. I like that color. But anyway. Reverse Cinderella retelling, where the girl is a princess-ish. I mean, she's the daughter of a duke, but she's pretty much a princess. And the guy is the peasant. Can I please comment, though? Once again, we have the first world problems here. Girl, you are the daughter of a duke. She acts kind of stupid, and she is a little annoying, but she comes around by the end. And I do like that she fell in love with him even after, like, knowing what he was and all that. How he was how he was a, whatchamacallit, how he was a peasant. It's on the title, Morgan. I like that she was able to fall in love with him as a peasant. I did see one review point out that she mentioned before I read it, unfortunately, because I've read them all before. Like, these were all rereads. So I did see one review point out how many times she says, "But we're both artists." And I couldn't unsee that after the review said that. Which, yeah, that happens a lot. But, like, also, I can get how that might, like, especially in medieval times, I can get how that might actually, you know, be a something that she'd never, like, she didn't know anyone else who was an artist. Yeah. Oh, also, wait, I gotta go back to Piper's Pursuit, because spoilers for Piper's Pursuit and for Golden Braid. Okay, at the end of Golden Braid, sorry, I just remembered this, and I need to get this off my chest, because there was a huge plot hole in this book. In Golden Braid, Duke Wilhelm gives Kieterhoffen or something like that, gives this one area to Rapunzel and her husband. Okay, in Piper's Pursuit, they go there while they're running away, but they don't seem to remember that like his sister and brother-in-law are in charge. Instead, he goes on to another place where his other brother and sister-in-law live. And it's like, dude, you were right there. I think Melanie Dickerson forgot that Kieterhoffen is where, I think it's like something like that. It's where Gerald, I think it's Gerald, and Rapunzel lived. Like, huh? I'm very confused by this plot hole, but yeah, I needed to mention that. Anyway, moving on now. So that was all of the Hockenheim series. Next, I read the, I think these are just called like the medieval fairy tale series. So I read Huntress of Thornbeck Forest, The Beautiful Pretender, and The Noble Servant. And these are mashups. Let's see. So these are mashup retellings. So this is a retelling of Robin Hood and Swan Lake. And this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast and Princess and the Pea. And then this is a retelling of Prince and the Pauper and the Goose Girl. And I'm just going to talk about them all together because I love them all. Huntress of Thornbeck Forest was less whimsical feeling than the rest of them, because it took me a minute to get through that one, just because it was, yeah, it did take me a little bit longer, didn't it, buddy? He's just staring up at me. There's a smile. There's a smile. I was waiting for a smile. This one is a little more realistic, I think, than the rest of her books, and less whimsical, so it took me a while to get through it, just because I was in the mood for the whimsy, and I just knocked out the other 11 books, and I kind of wished it would have continued. But then Beautiful Pretender was great. Again, I really loved it, and I loved Noble Servant. So in this one, the main character is a girl who is like a Robin Hood-esque character. She she poaches from the King's Forest, and she to feed starving children. At least that's what she thinks she's doing. Meanwhile, the the forester of the area is trying to find her. The poacher, he does not realize it is a woman. So yeah, that's enough of that, I guess. And then Beautiful Pretender, the Margrave over the area needs to find a bride because the king told him to, I think was why. And so he brings all these other noble ladies there. The main character is a servant girl from one of these noble ladies who, when her lady runs off, the lady's father forces her to take her place and pretend to be her in this contest. She's not supposed to get picked, but of course things happen. Also, I did like there was other allusions to Beauty and the Beast, like the movie. In this one, that was fun. Like the wolves, that was fun. And then we have the Noble Servant. Really love this. The main character of this is just so sweet. I love her so much. And look, no, that's not quite the same. That's a green. I thought that was the same color. I love this dress on the cover too. That's so pretty. But her servant forces her to switch places with her. She's on her way to go marry this duke, and her servant forces her to switch places with her, so that she's the servant, and that the servant is pretending to be the I don't remember if she's a duchess or what. The lady, we'll just say the lady. I really loved this as well. This girl is just so wonderful. Okay, but can I have a bit of a rant? Okay, so that was that series. Again, all 5 stars. But can we pause here so I can have a bit of a, just, book 1 of this series. Book 2 of this series. Book 3 of this series. One of these things is not like the others. Why? I don't mind that it's hardback. Like, I actually don't care that it's hardback and the others are paperback. I prefer paperback actually to hardback, but still, I don't mind that. What I mind is this. let me ask you, which of these two series would you think this book belongs to? You would think it belongs to the other series. It's kind of a problem. I don't get it. I don't get what's up with that. What is up with the cover design, people? There was a bit of a cover shift too between like when they went from paperback to hardback. From Princess Spy, I think Princess Spy was the old version, to Golden Braid, but like it wasn't that drastic. I don't get it. I don't know what happened here. Why is this the case? Why? I don't understand. I think they're the same publisher. Like, she switched publishers at some point from Zondervan to Thomas Nelson, which is, I think, when the hardback started, which makes sense to me. 100% makes sense. But why? Please someone tell me why. I don't get it. Please, I don't understand. Anyway. And I don't even normally care, like, I don't care about having mismatched series in that, like, my copy of Narnia, not the omnibus copy you got over here, but, like, my actual copy of Narnia is, like, 4 different versions. I don't care. But there are coherent series of Narnia out there. There is not a coherent, as far as I am aware at least, there is not a coherent version of that series, and that's a little annoying. Even though I don't normally care, but like that's just weird. But anyway, next I read Court of Swans, which is the first book in the Daracot Tales. This is a retelling of the Wild Swans. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Wild Swans. Basically, this girl, her brothers are accused of treason by their stepmother. And she sets out to prove their innocence. And she works with the knight that helped arrest them because he realizes that they're probably innocent. And also he's very ashamed of himself for arresting children. Because her brothers are also children, some of them. It was really good. It was good. Not as good as the others. Again, I agree with the consensus. This is not necessarily her best book. Castle of Refuge is the next book in that series. The Ugly Duckling retelling. And it's super good. I really loved it. I'd just read it last year, so it was a really recent reread. But it helped having just read this one to reread this one. And also, I think even though this is a different series, it is connected to Hockenheim. Like, I am pretty confident. I didn't look at the timeline, actually. But I didn't look at, like, the years. But I'm pretty confident that the main character from Silent Songbird, the Little Mermaid retelling, was mentioned in this book, I think. At least there was a character with the same name, and it's the same king. So I'm pretty confident that they're actually in the same universe. And I think they're all in the same universe. Like, I think the Medieval Fairy Tale, the mashup series, I think those are also in the same universe. Because at least that town is mentioned in Hockenheim. Which I probably wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't done a binge reread of all of them. But anyway, this one was much better than the Court of Swans. It's about a girl who has the worst sister in the world. I don't think that's much of an exaggeration because her sister literally pushes her. This happens like within the first 2 chapters, I think. So, let's see. No, in the first chapter. In the first chapter, yeah. So I feel like I'm okay to tell you this. Her sister pushes her into the fire, and scars her face gets her face scarred on purpose. It's yeah, terrible. And then the main character is the brother of the oldest brother of the girl from the last book, or from the first book, right? The book before this in the series, the first book. And he is very he has PTSD from the events of book 1, shall we say? But it was really good. I really enjoyed this. There were some parts where, and also the lead, like the guy, was possibly the best lead of one of the books, only up there with like Wilhelm from book 1 and Colin of Hockenheim and Colin from book 5 of Hockenheim. Like, he was yeah, he was great. I loved him. Also, the main character does, at least once, does the smart thing, which no one ever does in fiction. I appreciated that. I don't want to tell you necessarily what, because it kind of is getting close to spoilers. But, yeah. She actually does a smart thing that most people in fiction don't do. Okay, guys, we are almost done. But I actually did get all of that's as far as I've made it in the Daracot Tales. I need the rest of them. Like, I need to read the other 4 so bad. I don't have them, though, so yeah. But that was my Melanie Dickerson reread. I'm thinking and kind of planning on doing a video where I rank all 16 of those books that I just talked about. So keep an eye out for that in the future. Alright, the next book that I read, I think this one was next, was The White City by Grace Hitchcock. It's been republished under another name, but anyway, this is about sort of about a true story of a serial killer during the Chicago World's Fair. And the main character, her father is a police detective, and she wants to help find the guy. And her father doesn't necessarily, because she sees him kidnapping a woman, and her father doesn't necessarily believe her, but he sends one of his agents to, or like one of his policemen to follow her, and then things progress from there. But yeah, it was good. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Wasn't actually, I was afraid it would get, I was reading it like right before bed, almost done, and I was like, I want to finish this tonight. But also, she's on the run from a serial killer, so like, but it didn't get too scary. I think it's fine. Alright, then I have 3 more. So next I read The Lady of Lenaria by Michaela Bush. This is a Rapunzel retelling, non-magical Rapunzel retelling, and it was really fun. Gothel was the worst. Like, I'm serious, worse than the Gothel in in Melanie Dickerson's Golden Braid. Worse. I know. That's shocking that she's worse than her, but she is. Worse than the Gothel in Barbie as Rapunzel. Worse than the Gothel in Tangled. I think that's the worst Gothel I've ever read about. And I'm sure if you've read this book, you know what scene I mean when I say she's the worst. But it was really good. Not a lot. I really did enjoy it. I did give this one 5 stars. It was great. The main character was great, and so was her love interest. And there were very much, even though he was, I think I've heard somebody saying before that it has Tangled vibes, which, yeah, it does. Definitely has Tangled vibes. Even though the love interest is not a thief, he's a guard, but, like, total Tangled vibes. 100%. Really loved it. And I love Tangled, so that was fun. Alright. Next is the next book in that series, The Healer of the Brigade. There we go. Healer of the Brigade, also by Michaela Bush. This is not a retelling, but it is set in the same world. And the main character of this book was a side character, or not the main character, I guess the love interest in this book was a side character in book 1. Really enjoyed this one as well. I think I only gave it 4 stars, maybe 4.5, because, again, we come down to I have theological disagreements with the author thing, and I don't want to mark it down too much, but also at the end, like her author's note at the end, I kind of felt like I was like, I think I'm going to mark it down a little for that. But I still very much enjoyed it. Basically, I think the author, let's just say, I don't want to get into too much of a theological debate on a YouTube video about books, but suffice it to say that she believes, seems like she believes more, she leans more Pentecostal, and I'm Baptist. So, if that gives you a good, gap, or showing you I can't talk. If that tells you what the gap here would be in our beliefs, then yeah. I think we're on 2 different ends of a spectrum. Not that I don't believe God can still heal, because I do. I just don't think like I don't think that the spiritual gift of healing is necessarily something that just people have past the apostolic age. But anyway, that's more than I wanted to even get into. I don't want to get into that too much. I disagreed with it. And I know there are a lot of people who misuse that concept today, and so I just kind of felt like, well, I think I'm going to mark it down a little bit for that. But I still very much enjoyed the book, and I love the main character. She was great, and because it's a fantasy world, I'm not even really mad at it. I just kind of felt like, well, I don't think it's full 5 stars for that. And also, Robbie was wonderful. I loved him very much. And Isla was great too. I really want to get my hands on book 2. Book 3, because it's her story. And I got books 1 and 2, and then the next book I'm going to talk about, she had a promo basically where they were free on Kindle. So thank you for Sarah's Tangled Tales for posting that, because I definitely took advantage of that and bought those, because she'd been talking about them, and Lindsay from BFCG had also talked about this series, and I was like, ooh, Christian non-magical fantasy for $0. We'll be purchasing, we'll be downloading that, and very much enjoyed, especially book 1. Alright, and then finally, the last book of the month that I read was, again, also by Michaela Bush, and it is A Dance of Rebels. It is sort of a Nutcracker retelling, but, like, not a lot, just dancing and, like, a soldier. But I only gave this one 3.5 stars because I was very uncomfortable. Like, I read it. Yeah, I did read it. I did read it, and I finished it, and I didn't have, like, it was just a lot about human trafficking, and that was the point. Like, the point was supposed to be about how evil human trafficking is and stuff. And yeah, totally 100% agree with that message. Great message. It kind of talks about it more than I would liked, and so that's why I knocked it down to 3.5 stars. Nothing explicit. Nothing at all explicit. Just, it was always there. Like, it was a constant thing in the book. Just, yeah. So more about that than I would like, but I really love the two main characters, and the ending was really good. I really liked the ending, but just a little more than I would have wanted in a fun fantasy books. But anyway, did enjoy it still. And it was very much from a Christian perspective and very much like condemning of that practice. And this is not good, and we should stop it. And not explicit, like I said, just more than I wanted to talk about. All right, so there is my monster wrap-up for February. I think, let me go on Goodreads and count, just so I can give you a fully accurate, let's see, challenge. Okay, so, see more books. That's not correct. It's not in order. But I know what I read this month, so I'll just count them even if they're not in order. Okay, there we go. We're in order again. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 if you count that short story. So 25 books. That's a lot. I didn't intend to read that much really, but because of the readathon, which I need to talk about, I'm glad I remembered. Because of the readathon, the Once Upon a February readathon, I wanted to reread all of Melanie Dickerson if I could, and then I did, so I was very happy. Alright, so once again, this readathon was hosted by Taylor from Tales and Treats with Tay, Christy from Christy A. Cole, Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails, Kat from Cat Stories, Celestria, and Reese from The Writing Songbird, and I will link all their channels in the description. Alright, so the prompts for this one, and I'm going to go through this real quick, but yeah. So, Red Rose, red on the cover. For that, I will probably go with... I have a mess of books. Here, you know what? I'm just going to grab the first one. Warrior Maiden has red on the cover. Fairy Godmother, a gender-flipped retelling. That's Piper's Pursuit. Where did it go? Here it is, Peasant's Dream. That's a gender-flipped retelling. Merry Men, a male main character. Ben-Hur. I'm not going to hold that one up because I had that just on picture and I closed that picture. But anyway, Ben-Hur is my answer for that one. Evil Stepmother, a notorious villain. Oh, hey, this one actually would work really well for that. Yeah, this is actually a real notorious villain. Or Ben-Hur would work. Or any of the retellings just about would work because they, you know, have a version of the Evil Stepmother or something, so, yeah. Alright, Pixie Dust, a magical creature. Where did the Dragon Keeper Saga go? Here it is. Dragon Keeper Saga. Dream Keeper Saga. I keep calling it the Dragon Keeper Saga, but it's the Dream Keeper Saga. The Dragon and the Stone. But anyway, it has a dragon in it. Yeah. Midnight. You are the last to read a book or a hyped book. And I think I'm the last one on book 2, at least, to read the Ravenwood Saga. I'm sure I'm not, but, like, very few people have most people have read that by now. So, that was my answer for that one. Bluebeard, a lesser-known retelling. And for that, I'm going with Court of Swans by Melanie Dickerson. Most of these are Melanie Dickerson books, let's be honest. Wolf, an animal that is integral to the plot. Dreamkeeper Saga would work because there's a dragon. Pretty much all the Melanie Dickerson books would work because there's horses integral to every part of the plot. Song musical voice incorporates music singing. We have The Songbird by or if I can find it, where is here? Silent Songbird. This one works too. The Songbird by Mason Andrews or Silent Songbird by Melanie Dickerson. Again, I'm not going to bother with the image for that one. The other one. But this one, she pretends not to sing or be able to talk because she's so famous for singing and she sings so beautifully. So I think that counts. And it's a Little Mermaid retelling, so, you know, singing. I'm almost done, buddy. Hang on just a minute. And then Long Locks, a girl with long hair. I mean, I kind of feel like I have to go with Lady of Lenaria, however you say that, or Golden Braid, Rapunzel retellings. But again, all of the Melanie Dickerson books, I think, have girls with long hair. Alright. Snow Queen, characters are on a quest. Most of the Melanie Dickersons or Dreamkeeper Saga would work for that. And then Thumbelina, a short book or the shortest book on your TBR. And for that, either the Songbird by Melanie, or Maysu Andrews. I've said Melanie Dickerson so many times in this video that I think I just forgot. Yeah. Either the Songbird by Maysu Andrews or The Light Princess, which is like 110 pages. Songbird is a short story, so it's technically shorter. But anyway, I did all the things, all the prompts, and I got Godmother status. So, yeah, very proud of that. So thank you for watching. Let me know what your favorite read of February is, and please like and subscribe. Bye.